A recurring character on Netflix Dead Boy Detectives is Mick, or better known as Tragic Mick, a magical shopkeeper who was once a walrus, who surprisingly is actually from the comics opposed to a lot of the more original characters in the series. In fact, one of the few characters from the comics outside of the main core trinity. That being Edwin, Charles, and Crystal. Along with the night nurse, Crystal's parents, the endless character cameos, and the two sassy cats. Out of context, probably everything up until now makes no sense to anyone who hasn't read the comics or watched the show. Talking about magical walrus shop owners and sarcastic cats. Back to Mick, his original role in the 2001 comic is non-existent. He, like Crystal, would actually first appear in the second comic, that being from 2014. Appearing as a reoccurring character of this 12-issue series. We would first meet him in issue 6 as a shopkeeper Edwin and Charles go to visit, who, by the way, unlike the show, is a humanoid walrus. He seems to be open to business with the boys, along with lines implying they have a history of the two boys being customers of his, and typically buying their disguises from him, as a means to fit in with a living, which they did plenty of times on the show. They need some information on a magical weapon, which he, being a nice walrus man, of course pardons his wisdom upon them, as well as some advice, also giving Edwin a callback to his own past. He shows up again in issue 10 where he bumps into Charles during his conquest in the Netherlands. Netherlands? Netherlands. It's spelled like Netherlands, but I'm pretty sure it's meant to be pronounced as Netherlands. I don't know because they didn't use that on the show, so... He gives him a knife that, according to him, is sharper than a drag queen's tongue, as a means to protect himself in this place. What alliteration, Tragic Mick? Sharper than a drag queen's tongue. Also, a genuine question, how does he know what a drag queen is? Unlike the show, his origin is never actually gone into. However, it seems to be implied that he's a magical being that isn't necessarily from Earth. He visits occasionally, but not necessarily a person that walks around the earth and watches drag queen shows. So how does he know what a drag queen is, unless he's actually looking for them? That's my headcanon now, that Tragic Mick is a drag queen fan, which, to be honest, from this one line, I think it could be implied. Edwin breaks into his shop later, needing help to get Charles back, where he finds Mick has a way to go through this mortal playing ground. That is, swimming, as Mick puts it, through this waterish type portal into the Netherlands. Edwin, of course, finding himself like this, just simply drags him out, forcefully demanding him help them find Charles. And by them, I mean Edwin and Crystal, because Crystal is also on this mission, she just isn't currently present. She's doing her own thing currently. He does help out and provide an assist in saving Charles and a friend of theirs named Rosa, who is a character in the comics that is not in the show, although the character kinda has shades in Nico's character. Same as the character of Hannah, although I might just be reading into things that aren't actually there. His final appearance in both the series and comics as a whole would be in the comics' final issue, issue 13, where we'd see him take on a zombie defending the Dead Boy Detectives, and staying in the Netherlands to help beat the naughty things inside. Their words, not mine. This entire series ends, by the way, with the question if kittens can cry. I didn't need to share that, but I thought I should, seeing how it oddly made me burst out laughing when I first read it. And the answer to that question is no, they technically can't, but they can be sad, which cats in this story are. I mean, the question wasn't literal, so I suppose I'm not meant to be actually answering it, but I did. The character of Mick on the show would be reimagined as having once been a walrus. However, here he would be turned into a human after deciding to leave the water, being curious of land life, only to find himself trapped there forever. He's used sparingly in the series as a shopkeeper that the main characters visit, primarily Edwin, Charles, Crystal, and Nico. It's a nice touch for the fans of the comic. The change of him being a physical human opposed to being a humanoid walrus hybrid is likely because of the budget of the show, but maybe we'll get the humanoid walrus in the future. After all, the character didn't die. In fact, he was the one that gifted that gift upon Nico, meaning he could have a role next season. Perhaps even a bigger one than this season. He's played by Michael Beach, who does a great job playing the character. And oddly reminds me of Mr. Krabs for some reason. I don't know why. This character in the comics isn't all that deep, or really a character, but more of a side fun character. That's just a part of certain scenes, although I could see them maybe doing more with the character on the Netflix show. Seeing they've already given a pretty tragic backstory, turning him into an actual character of the series opposed to being more of an actual gimmick, like he was in the comics, which by the way was a very fun gimmick. I am not coming for the comic at all, it's very good. I'm just saying that the character could be more on the series. That is, if hopefully it gets a second season, which it better, because I really wanted to see a second season of the show. And that's it about Tragic Mick. Like always, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!